Hi, how you going? Today we're going to do a quick little lesson on introduction to 1-point perspective. Now, 1-point perspective is a technique that changed Western art and allowed artists and designers to be able to draw things, especially architectural buildings in the beginning, in a highly realistic fashion. Okay, it has a long history back to the 1400s. It was developed in Italy, and I won't go into the specifics of that discovery, I'm going to say, rather than invention. Seems like a discovery. But we're going to look at how to apply the techniques that they learned to our own drawings. Okay, so you can see here on the table I have the tools that we need. This is sort of an art rubber. You'll have a different sort of eraser rubber. We'll get that ready. I want you to copy what I'm doing here. As you can see, just putting nice, quickly and easily and fairly neatly a heading up the top. And first of all, I'm going to start by writing a basic rule. Okay, so the basic rule for 1-point perspective drawing is all lines travel to the vanishing point or is either vertical or horizontal. And that's it. That's all we need to know at the moment, okay? Of course, you can break this rule, and that's why it's called the basic rule, okay? So today we're going to be learning that system, okay? Now, the first thing that we need to recognise when we're drawing this type of system, using this drawing system, notice that, first of all, I've got the ruler and I'm using the edge of the page here to get a very nice 90 degrees from the edge of the page, so I get a horizontal line. And it's hard for me with my ruler at the moment, but I can place that at the bottom of the page flat as well to get a perfect vertical, and that helps us with this one. The next thing is that we need to know what this word means, okay, and why we have it. So I'm going to draw around 2/3 of the page, way up the page, a horizontal line, and we can call this the horizon line. Now, you might go down to the beach or you might be in the middle of the desert, and we need a flat space for this, but we probably understand what a horizon line is, okay? And so basically this is imagine that we're on a desert, flat desert, all you can see is dust and dirt, and there's no bushes, no mountains in the background or anything at all. And this part is the sky. Now, the horizon line actually represents also our eye level. Okay. And what does that mean? Okay, so that means, it's almost like a pair of glasses there now. It means that anything above this horizon line, if this is at our eye level, then, for instance, if there was a building, and I'm looking at the building and it travels, it's really high, and it's above this horizon line, then it's above my eye level, and I cannot see the top of it. Okay, I won't be able to see onto the roof. Okay, this will make more sense when we start demonstrating it. The other thing, of course, if it's under that, then I will be able to see the top of that roof, because it's under our eye level. So imagine looking down on a table, for instance, in a room. We're above that, well above that, so we can see the top. But if we're looking up to a building next to us, it's like normal one story even, doesn't really matter. we cannot see on top of the roof. We can see if it's a slanting roof, that's a different story, but if it's a flat roof, we won't see the top of that. Okay. So we're going to start with this system, and the first thing that we need to do is now explain this. Okay. So the vanishing point is, imagine I'm going to put this right in the middle of the page. Okay. I haven't ruled, I'm just using my eye, so reasonable proportion, just use eye, little dot. Don't make a big dot, just a little dot. And this is called our vanishing point. Okay. Now many of you will know this sort of illusion or sort of drawing trick. You would have seen it many times just around the place. Oh, by the way, you can call this the BP as well. It's abbreviated, so I might say BP occasionally, and that's what I mean. Okay. So from here, I'm going to show you that little illusion trick. So I'm going to draw a line. It doesn't have to go to the corner of the page. In fact, I'm going to go in to prove that. A lot of people think it has to go to the corner of the page for some reason. Now, there's also discussion on the net. Does this have to be in the middle of the page as a one-point perspective? Because we have one-point perspective. We also have two-point perspective. We can go three-point perspective, and then you can go multiple points. Okay, but there's some discussion that, and even in one point, you could put the point here or there. It doesn't really matter where on that line. That's not true. As a one-point perspective, it has to be in the middle. Okay, as soon as it moves off the middle, then essentially it should technically and is technically a two-point perspective drawing. Okay, so we'll leave that as it is. Look it up in the discussions if you want online. It really has to. I'm of the opinion, and I believe it's correct, that it has to go in the middle. Otherwise, it becomes a two-point. Even though it may look horizontal, it will be on the vertical. That's a different discussion. So now, what have we just drawn? A triangle and a line. Yes. Okay. The illusion could be that we have a triangle, but do we have a triangle or do we have a road that goes off into the distance? Okay. So we have now lines on the road, trying to get shorter as we go into the distance, whatever. Now imagine we know. Let's put some mountains on here. Okay, now we have some mountains and we're starting to see what's going on. We have a flat horizon, and we've got mountains way in the distance, and we're on a straight road. Now we know if we get in a helicopter and we keep flying that this it's not a triangle, and it does not meet and just become a point at the end of that road. Okay, if we get in a helicopter, we know that we can keep flying and at least to the base of these mountains, maybe in the mountains it might swerve off. But at least to where we can see it vanish here, we know that this really is a straight road. Okay, and it's because we're a fixed human in a fixed position that we can't get in a helicopter in our mind. We have to stand in this fixed position, and basically where the points vanish for our perspective as a human, our perspective. That's why it's called the vanishing point. We cannot see any further than that point, even though we know it is a wider road. Okay, so there's a little bit. Note that I'm doing the rules, even though I'm going to, there's a vertical line here, this one's going to the vanishing point. So all lines travel to the vanishing point, okay, just like these have, whereas either vertical or horizontal. Okay, let's explore that. Ruler on the side of the page, make sure I get the horizontal. I'm just going to do a very simple, very, very simple house box. Starting with a box, let's just do a box in perspective. Now, sometimes I'm not going to be 100% perfect on my verticals. I'm not using the bottom of the page. It's hard with my ruler and the camera at the moment, but that's fine as long as I'm pretty accurate. So we've got a box, verticals and horizontals. Now, sometimes I see students and they get a bit lazy with this and they start to get the rules or they don't pay attention and they start to do this, okay? Now, of course, this is not vertical anymore, clearly, and it's going to make the walls of this box look really pretty strange. Unless that was deliberate and you wanted a crooked wall or it was a wedge shape, there are ways to do that, but that's beyond the basic rule. We're just sticking with the basic rule because this is probably the first time we've done it. Okay, so vertical, horizontal. Now we're going to use the rule, travels to the vanishing point. So I'm going to take from each corner of this box here, making sure I'm 100% on that. Now when I mark your work, I test, I go around and go, yep, okay, yes, vertical or horizontal, yep. Travels to the vanishing point, 100%. Yes, if it goes like this, it may have the illusion of 3D-ness in this box, but it won't be perspective anymore. Okay, it has to be like that. And the more it's off and it doesn't go to this vanishing point, the more crooked and weird it will look. Now, don't worry about these at the moment. That's natural. It's just we're just going for a basic draft, and a lot of designers, professional designers, when they're just sketching out quickly, will be doing this as well. Later on, you can rub them out, whatever. Now, when you do this very lightly. I'm doing it a bit darker because of the camera. I'm using an HB pencil. Okay, so that's H for hard, B for black, halfway in between the darker, blacker pencils of the 2B, 4B, etc., and the harder lead, harder graphite. So the harder the graphite, the less pigment comes onto that page. Okay, so H is hard, 2 hard, H, 4H, etc., and there'll be a lighter pencil. Okay, what's happened here? Okay, is the camera working? All right. So there we have our first box. Easy